Wise men say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
Damn. Was that it? Was that a
That
good
was that
damn?
was great. Yeah, you got to really feel it. You got to get that angst, that
Yeah.
Raphael angst.
Yeah. I mean, they only use that word about 25 times in this movie.
I mean, it controversial in the Radford household, by the way, that this children's film used the word damn so many times.
Yeah. Well, this is You Had Me at Rewind, and we're traveling back to March 30th, 1990, and heading down to the sewers of New York to talk about the surprise hit that turned a gritty comic into a turtle-powered pop culture explosion, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Our family grows. The city itself will be our playground to use as we please, rewarding ourselves and punishing our enemies.
We've been looking for you, Miss O'Neill.
There is a new enemy, freaks of nature. Together, we will punish these creatures.
What the heck was that?
Looked like sort of a big turtle in a trench coat.
Welcome to You Had Me at Rewind, the podcast where we revisit the 90s flicks that raised us. I am super glad to bring in a frequent contributor to the Movies Are Life podcast, but the first You Had Me at Rewind episode. But Kyle Radford, how are you doing, Kyle?
I'm great, man. I'm excited. I love this. I love this concept.
Yeah. This will be a lot of fun. So Kyle's been on a lot, but just give some background. We met at Baylor, became really good friends, roommates one year, and just has still really strong relationship, even though we have miles between us. We some people call us the original Red River rivalry. I'm in Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah,
He's
a
in
lot of
Austin.
people do. Yeah, that's how people know
Well,
us.
yeah, actually, I'm wearing red right now. You're wearing kind of an orange. Is that like?
It's like a reddish. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it's coming across orange.
yeah. But also a co-host of his own film podcast, Second Best Picture, which I highly recommend that you listen to because Kyle and his good buddy Brandon do a great job breaking down movies.
We like to think so. And I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to pick my own movie to talk to you about. Because usually you tell me the movie that I'm supposed to watch,
Right.
and I hate them. So I was very excited to pick this one myself.
Yeah. The wedding planner. This is not so.
No, no.
Yeah, no, that's kind of why I wanted. That's been fun just to kind of see what movies people have picked, and so which actually leads to the first question I have for you is like, why did this movie come to mind when I asked what '90s movie you wanted to watch?
Yeah, and I mean this is the beginning of the 90s, right? Like this came out
Yes,
in 1990.
yes,
But I was all in on the Ninja Turtles. Like I think a lot of people our age at that time were a lot of boys were. I mean, I loved everything about the Ninja Turtles. I wanted to be a Ninja Turtle. And so them making a movie was just about the coolest thing that had ever happened. And I watched this movie over and over and over again when it finally came out. So this was a huge part of my life.
yeah. So just a little setup before we really go deep into this. This movie was directed by Steve Barron. I'm not sure what else he's done, but
Steve
it's
Barron directed the Billie Jean video.
oh
He was a big music video director. Yeah, he didn't really do a
oh
lot of movies, but that's why the visual style of this movie is so good, especially compared to the second one, because this guy was like a visuals guy.
yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Like you saying that, it's like it's almost like I can visualize that music video, like the same kind of lighting and
Yeah.
certainly all the alleyways and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so this was based on the darker comic series by Eastman and Laird. I'm not quite sure that's how you say that, but
Peter Eastman and Kevin Laird. Yeah.
yeah, okay. And so,
Listen, I know the Ninja Turtles.
okay, this is amazing. Good. You can correct me on it. But so the four turtles, Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, and Michelangelo, this movie brought them to life in a surprisingly gritty live action adventure with suits by Jim Henson's Creature Shop and a story balancing martial arts mayhem mayhem with teenage angst. The film was a box office smash, grossing over $200 million worldwide on a $13 million budget. So they did pretty well. I usually I kind of go.
It was the most successful independent film of all, most profitable independent film up to that point.
Oh
And I
wow,
think it stayed the most profitable indie film until like the Blair Witch Project.
wow, that's crazy. See, this is why I had why I
Yeah.
had you on. I could should so. Do you think it's worth going through the cast here because I don't know if even myself I didn't recognize many of the actors in this movie, but Judith Hogue as
Judith
April.
Hogue, Elias Koteas. Are you kidding?
Well, Ice Cotillas is Casey Jones, James Saito as Shredder. I could go on, but I will say, did you notice the future Oscar winner
I
actor?
did. Yeah, yes. Sam Rockwell is in this.
Did you know? Did you know
A
that?
very sweaty Sam Rockwell.
Did you notice? Did you know that before watching it this time? Was that something you knew about?
I did. Yeah, I did
Oh,
know that.
okay.
I'll do you one better. In that scene where he's talking about like we're a family after Casey Jones beats up Master Tutsu. Do you know who's standing next to Sam Rockwell?
No.
Skeet Ulrich.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
very young Skeet Ulrich.
Oh wow. Okay. So I mean this movie launched and I would say so there's a cast list of like the people
And
who
the biggest name of the movie is probably Corey Feldman as
right.
Donatello.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Just as the voice. He wasn't
Yeah.
actually in the suit. So only the guy that played Raphael did both. But the rest of them different actors and then voice actors.
But
So
all the suit actors got a cameo in the movie at least.
oh,
They all
that's
got
good.
to, yeah, like the guy delivering the pizza is one of them. The guy in the cab is one of them. So they all,
Oh,
at one point in time, I knew who everybody was, but yeah, they let them all at least be on screen. Well, and then the guy that was in the suit for, I want to say Donatello, I could be wrong, but he in the second movie, he's Kino. He like actually got to be in the
oh,
movie.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh.
Ernie Reyes Jr.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess when a movie like this has become so successful, they're like anything to maybe garner that same financial success. They're
Oh,
gonna.
absolutely. And they rushed that thing, man. I mean, this came out in like
Oh
what,
yeah, I did.
October. It came out a year later.
Yeah, yeah, they were, and honestly, so well, I'll get into that later. But so before the movie came out, you were into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would have been in the gosh, like the third grade or somewhere, yeah, around there
So
when this
was
came.
so was the animated series that
Anime
we
series came out in '87.
okay
So,
okay
so
so
we'd had
yeah
a couple of years of, yeah, I'd had a couple of years of loving the animated series before this came out. So, and that was, I mean, listen, I wasn't watching. It's incredible how fast the Turtles exploded because the comic only started in 1984, and by 1990 there was this media empire and this movie that had come out and all this. So like they blew up pretty quickly. I mean, for that amount of time. But I didn't read the comic. I don't. Everybody always talks about the dark and gritty comic, and I don't know. I grew up on just the animated series, and I loved it.
yeah yeah and I just couldn't remember exactly like which came first
Yeah.
and so because yeah I was definitely into them as well. I was a big Ghostbusters guy, so I had all those action figures, but still I still have my collection somewhere. If you dig into it, there's a couple of villains, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle villains, like mixed in there, and then I always was a fan of just the original like arcade game, and
Yeah.
we had a Mr. Gaddy's in Longview, Texas. And they had a game room which only had like four machines in them, but I know two of them were the Simpsons arcade game and that one. And so
I think it was required by law that those two games be in every like Mr. Gaddy's Pizza because yeah, that game was awesome, and the original NES game too was super
oh
hard.
yeah,
But I think everybody had the original NES game.
yeah,
It
oh
was
yeah.
yeah, it was really. I had a ton of the toys, man. Me and then my little brother after me. But we had a bunch of the toys. I never had the Technodrome. That was like the coveted. I had one friend that had that, and I thought he was the coolest person ever because he had that toy.
I feel
But
like one.
we had a bunch of them.
I feel like one of the toys, there's always the action figure, and then they came with some kind of weapon of some sort.
Right.
But one was like or maybe it was a vehicle, but it shot pizzas out of it. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, well, their van shot pizzas,
Yes, yeah.
shot little pizza. Yeah, we had that. It shot little pizza discs.
That's hilarious. So, I mean, it's probably
Just like the movie, right? They drove around on vans shooting pizzas out.
yeah, yeah.
I have to say, I was a little disappointed when I first saw like the trailer for it as a kid. Like, this doesn't look right at all.
So do you, I don't know. So you would have been probably around like 8 when this came out or something
Yeah.
like that. So do you remember the first time you saw it? Was
Are
it
you?
in the
I
theater?
remember it better than the day my children were born. I I'm putting this on record. I hope my parents listen to this because this is documented child abuse. My mom, I guess, had seen on the Today Show or one of those type shows or read somewhere that this was a darker version. You know, this wasn't the cartoon. And so she got it into her head that maybe it wasn't appropriate for me to see, even though I like basically had Ninja Turtles tattooed across my face at this point in time. But she's like, no, you can't go see it, which to me was the greatest injustice that had ever happened. And then when it comes out on VHS, it comes out on VHS local store, and they're like, okay, you can rent it. I think I came home from school one day and she had rented it as a surprise.
Okay.
But then for whatever reason that night, something was going on and they didn't let me watch it. And this is when you could get new rentals for one day.
Uh-huh.
So they didn't let me watch it that night, and I had school the next day. So I watched 30 minutes of it before school, and then it had to go back to I mean, so it was a couple days then before I was able to rent it again and finally finish the movie. But like they let me watch 30 minutes, and they're like, well, all right, later. You got to go to school now.
You just
I specifically like I remember when I had to turn the thing off and get on the bus.
That's horrible. Just all day you're wondering if they were gonna make it through the.
Oh man, and I had all the little I had like little trading cards that had pictures from the movie on it, and so I just look at those and try to imagine what had happened.
Yeah.
Awful,
So
awful.
is that
Listen, my parents, God bless them, but they're terrible people.
I don't think so. If they're listening,
They're fine. They're fine.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. I don't feel like I saw this in the theater. But I'm sure it was. I saw it on VHS like you did or something like that. But I mean, it was. I mean, it had been a minute since I had watched it again, and it was crazy how everything just floods back to you. Like, oh yeah, I remember the beats of this. But one thing I did own was the comic book of this movie, which is literally like a panel for panel, like exact retelling of this
Oh,
same
awesome.
story. And so I was actually trying. I just have a handful of comics I've kept, and I tried to find it just to send you a picture of it or whatever, but I couldn't find it. But I remember I felt kind of scandalous because since it is dialogue for dialogue, it had the curse words in it.
It said
Yeah.
"damn" in it.
It
Yeah.
did.
I had the novelization of the movie,
Okay.
and it had "damn" in there too.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
yeah. I loved that book. I had the movie poster on my wall,
Yeah.
like the one where they're coming out of the sewer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's I know for sure I had the puzzle of that, and I'm really sounding cool here, but
You were 8.
Well,
Or no, you were 35 when you got that puzzle, right?
yeah. No, I still like puzzles to this day, but I got into this thing where I would get like movie posters of puzzles, and then like I put them together. Then my dad
Yep.
Now they sell them in the store, but I remember he mixed the glue and water together, and I would like have them like hanging on my
Oh,
wall.
nice.
And this movie poster was one of those, I know, which is real funny because when you look at it, I mean, I think it's a great movie poster, but the turtles don't look anything like they do in the movie.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it is a little different with
Yeah,
their heads poking out.
yeah,
They
just a
must have
tad.
done that before they'd finished everything.
Yeah. So, that's fine. Did you ever own the movie?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to think. I'm trying to. I don't know when it came out, but then I would have gotten. So this came out in October, right? We're probably on video in
Well, it released in March, so
March. Okay, March.
yeah.
So we're on video. Maybe the next. I might have got it for my birthday. I don't know when it would, how
Yeah.
early it would have come out on video,
Yeah.
but I remember it being like something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Surely they tried to release it before the next movie came out
Yeah.
on
Oh,
VHS.
absolutely. Maybe at that point, then maybe it was Christmas that I would have gotten it, something around something like that. But I
Yeah.
definitely had it and wore it out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I watched the hell out of it and then bought it on DVD when I was older.
Yeah.
Just
So, so we won't, I don't want this podcast to be like a thorough breakdown of all the different
no, I want
turtles.
you. So scene one. So we zoom in. It's a helicopter shot coming into the city. We had voiceover narration from April O'Neil talking about a crime wave. How long is this podcast?
No. So I was going to ask you. So I mean, everyone has it's like a beetle. Who's your favorite turtle?
Michelangelo. I was always, it didn't make sense to me people who didn't have Michelangelo as their favorite. I mean, he was just the cool party guy, and I thought the nunchucks were the best of the weapons.
Yeah.
And he was so much fun in this movie.
Yeah.
I think I was watching it yesterday with my daughter, who has already seen it. my but I watched it with both my daughters, but Ella's seen it multiple times because I've made her. And she was like, man, she's like, Donatello and Michelangelo are really the funny ones. I was like, yes, they are.
Maybe is that subconsciously is that why you're wearing the orange shirt?
It must be. Although I gotta say, it's just coming across wrong. It's more of a salmon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Uh,
You
but no,
don't.
Mikey was always my guy. We played on the playground. That's who I wanted to be.
Yeah.
I had some fake nunchucks that I would play with
Yeah.
at my house that I would like. They weren't, I guess they were kind of real. I guess I found them in my grandfather's house that he'd gotten from a garage sale. And I used to beat the crap out of myself with those things, pretending to be Mikey, swinging them around. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, it always felt like, Michelangelo was the de facto, like everyone's favorite. I always lean towards Donatello a little bit more just because I know that I wasn't actually like Michelangelo, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I know.
I definitely didn't like Raphael. I really did it. Like
Oh, whenever people say, "Oh, I'm like Raphael," I'm like, "Well, aren't you interesting?"
aren't you so brooding?
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Which is real funny because he's almost like, I mean, are, I guess all Michelangelo definitely steals the spotlight for sure. But this whole movie almost hinges on Raphael. Like they're making
Yeah.
him the kind of, and I'm like, are we supposed to like this one? Because he's bringing the group down as a whole for
Yeah,
sure.
he's a bummer. But it's like that too in the I don't know if you've seen the animated TMNT movie because they did a whole line of the comics where he's like the last Ronin or he goes off on his own. I don't know. I like I said, I didn't read the comics, but yeah, I don't know. He's just always kind of a bummer for me. But
Yeah.
in this, they're not really teenagers in this movie. They don't really act like teenagers. They kind of act like angsty 20 somethings. Especially
Yeah.
Raphael acts like he's like in his 30s.
Yeah. Yeah. They're
Within
definitely,
he is the only one, at least with a New York accent. The rest of them have weird surfer accents for some
yeah.
reason, although they've never left New York City.
Yeah. If someone had no concept of when this movie was made, they turned it on, let's say not even watching it. They're just like eyes closed, they're just listening to it. They probably think the Ninja Turtles were like Gen Z right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so like even though you said you've watched this with your daughters before, like, it- do you think it does feel darker than you like remembered it as a kid, or more serious, or kind of just about right?
You know what strikes me about it? I guess it is quote unquote more serious. Is I think I can put the nostalgia aside and just say it's a good movie. The second one is bad. I can look back and put the nostalgia away and be like, the second movie sucks. I mean, the third movie is unwatchable, but the second movie, I'm like, it is what it is. I liked it as a kid. It's got the nostalgia factor. This is just a good movie. They did a good job, um, bringing the turtles to life. The movie, like I said, has some atmosphere to it. It's like they actually tried to give it a little mood. And yeah, it is darker, but that helps it. And
Yeah.
and there hadn't been a lot of like comic book movies. You know, you'd had Superman the movie in
Hmm.
1978, right? And you had Batman 89, which was huge, and this is the year after Batman 89, but this is a time when they weren't making comic book movies.
No. And so I did start this with my youngest Hayden. We were just by ourselves one night at the house. So, and even though she didn't finish it with me, just more of a timing thing more than anything, I was a little surprised like how into it she was.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I was.
Ella was talking about what's happening, and when she's doing that, I know I've got her.
Oh,
Like
okay.
that means she is fully dialed in to the movie when she's talking a lot about it.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so that my second part of this, okay, so I was a little shocked that this movie wasn't streaming on anything. So I had to actually rent it. And a horrible transfer, by the way. Like it looked almost like I was watching it on VHS.
Yeah, that's the DVD transfer. I'm assuming it got a Blu-ray at some point. I never picked it up. Yeah,
Yeah.
we watched it off my old. You should have it, Nate. Didn't you? You get all my movies?
Yeah, I might have, but
Yeah.
just from convenience wise, because I knew I would maybe watch it like during lunch or something like that. And so, so this is the second part of my, so I didn't finish with Hayden, but I had that like 48-hour window to finish it or whatever. And for some reason, even though everyone was in the house, everybody was off somewhere else. And I was like, oh, it was about 7:30. And I was like, I'm in the living room by myself and I could watch anything I want to right now. So I decided to finish it. So I'm playing it. And so my oldest Hallie had a friend over. They had been outside. So I'm watching it. And I don't think it matters that I say her. Eden comes through the living room. She just walks through. She's just going to the bathroom or something, and she just looks up at the TV. And it was one of those moments where the turtles are talking to Splinter, and she just kind of just she didn't say anything. And I just
No.
kind of looked at her and just shrugged my shoulders, and she was like, "All right," and just kept walking. And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So anyway, yeah, definitely, there is something to. I mean, it's as silly as it is. There's almost something more. You can almost buy into this giant rat talking than as if it was a CGI character.
Oh, 100%. Whenever I look at the weird crap that my kids watch now, like that's on Netflix or whatever, I have to remind myself, I can't be too old man Radford. I'm like, listen, your favorite show was called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, imagine what your parents were thinking when they're watching this, when they grew up on Gunsmoke,
Yeah,
Lost in
sure.
Space. So, I'll give him a pass, but. No, I have to applaud. This movie didn't have to be as good as it is.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like it didn't. I mean, a lot of that is the Jim Henson of it all. I mean, it's one of the last things he worked on before he died. Uh, it's a good looking flick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And yeah, and it was after, and so I do want to jump into the some of there is very much to really poke at with this film, but by the time it was over, I mean, I was like, that's just a good family film for as silly as it is, as
Oh yeah.
maybe even kind of clunky as it is sometimes. I don't know, it just kind of works, and I can't really I don't really know why. I don't know if it's that mix of like real people with these you know, these big bodysuits that these characters that I don't know, but
Well, I think one of the things that helps is it moves, man. It's 90
yeah.
minutes and it hits the ground running and it doesn't waste any time. You don't have a lot of scenes that are like dragging on. You don't really have time to catch your breath. It's just like, come on, let's go. We're gonna get through this. You're gonna be in and out an hour and a half, and you're gonna have fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So what's a moment maybe even back then that still stuck with you like rewatching it again? Is there a particular scene or just a
Well,
moment?
my favorite scene growing up was when Michelangelo has the nunchuck battle with the foot soldier,
Yeah.
like the nunchuck off. Like to me, that was like the whole movie was building up to that point. And I guess now it's a lot faster than I remember, and I can really tell that there's not much that the while impressive that the guy can do anything in the Michelangelo costume, he's not really doing much with his
Yeah.
subjects.
Yeah.
And you can see that they've switched to a face that doesn't have the animatronics in it, like it's
Mhm.
just completely frozen. Um, so yeah, I guess I see the seams of it a little more. But my child who was watching it was fully bought in on that
Yeah.
and loved that part.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's fun. It does a good job. Like it definitely builds like kind of like the menace, or I would say probably the seriousness or darkness that some people say about this film. But in those fight scenes, they allow for these comedic moments, especially with Michelangelo, that kind of as scary as maybe the Foot Clan soldiers look like. All of a sudden there's these like antics going on and stuff like that. That kind of
Yeah,
makes
and
it,
and
yeah.
it's good like little quipping and banter that they're doing while they're rolling around. But I've always find that that sequence really effective that starts with Raphael getting beat up on the my gosh, on the rooftop. There's the
Yeah,
word I
yeah,
couldn't find.
yeah, yeah.
And and then ending with them having to flee with Casey Jones comes in and that great score, that synth score kicks in as
Yeah,
they're escaping. It's and it ends with like the building on fire and her looking
yeah,
in the
yeah,
van. It's
yeah,
really effective. I mean,
yeah.
it's fun. You don't get that in like these kind of kids movies.
No, no. So a couple moments I do want to talk about that. I just made some notes on that. I just thought were just too funny not to talk about with you.
You're not going to
But
insult this movie, are you?
no, no, but so at the beginning where it's setting up the Foot Clan's soldiers and there's the newscast going on and we're seeing all these crimes. The guy that has the fully loaded truck and he goes to the door, we follow him, and when he comes back and everything is gone,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, these are the like David Copperfield or
Yeah, they're magic ninjas. It's movie ninjas. They can do anything.
they could. I know I
I
was
always
like
like the lady sitting out on the balcony watching TV.
um, um, I thought overall this movie, has a lot of good product placement, especially for Domino's and Burger King. So, uh,
Which is funny that Domino's is the pizza because then Pizza Hut paid a ton of money and was like the promotional partner for
yeah,
the movie.
yeah,
So yeah, I guess they got to them after the fact because Domino's had nothing to do with the movie other than being in it. It was Pizza Hut and the Ninja Turtles were like peas and carrots.
oh
I mean,
yeah,
those two, yeah.
yeah, for sure. So just a general moment when Shredder is watching on the newscast and gets mad and he throws a knife into the TV, and I just thought
Yeah.
that was extremely like, what are you doing there? I mean, that's just a waste of a TV.
Yeah, well, and I'm there. One of the TVs is already on the fritz, and so I've always thought, did he already get mad at something and destroy that TV? That's why
Yeah.
he has so many.
Why does he have so many? I guess you got to watch all the different
Well, some
news
are
channels.
really bad. He's got like a
Yeah.
little 8-inch black and white. I'm like, why throw that TV up there?
Yeah, yeah. I have to make mention of just just April's boss just constantly coming to her residence.
Does
Like,
your boss not show up while you're getting ready in the morning and stand in your bathroom to having a conversation? And by the way, they brought their kid. Their kid's
yes.
just hanging out in the kitchen. Yeah.
Oh man.
It seems inappropriate.
Yes,
Is
just a bit.
is Charles looking for a new mommy for Danny?
Yeah, I think
That's kind of
so.
how I've always taken it.
Yeah, because I don't think he has a romantic interest in April at all. So, but maybe, yeah, just a positive influence in
Yeah.
Danny's life. Yeah.
He needs to not be in it. But to be fair, she seems to be totally fine with him
Yes.
being in her bathroom while she's getting ready in the morning.
Okay, so the first shot. So I know we're supposed to like think these, the Foot Clan soldiers bad, all these teenagers who are, running amok. And the very first shot, and I remember this as a kid actually, they cut to and they're all playing video games and like skateboarding. And I'm like, that looks pretty fun.
Yeah. It's like Pleasure Island from Pinocchio, right?
Yeah.
Like it looked like the coolest place in the world. And I
Yes.
get it. Like that's how you recruit my kids are like, "Wow, this place looks fun." I was like, "Yeah, they're trying to recruit them so they'll be members of the Foot Clan." Like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Yeah, the kids are all like smoking and drinking soda. Can you like a movie today showing a child smoking a cigar? No.
Oh,
That place, I always just wanted to go hang out there.
yeah.
It looked way cool, and I knew way too cool for me.
Yes. Yeah.
I would be there like, oh, maybe we should call our parents, guys. I don't know.
I'd definitely be the kid. Like, one, people would notice that I shouldn't be there. But two, they honestly, I was so innocent, they wouldn't get mad that I stumbled in there. They'd be like, just go home. So yeah,
Just go home.
we're not worried about you. So
This like the Lost Boys place in Hook had just a place with a half pipe through it.
yeah,
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 just the ultimate and kid hangout for the 90s. You had to have a skateboard ramp
yeah.
inside your hangout.
Although I can never skateboard. I have the worst
No, I sat on
balance.
my skateboard that my parents bought me and I would roll gently down the driveway because if I tried to stand up, I was going to fall over.
Yes.
Just like Michelangelo.
Right. Well, it's harder to keep your balance when you're trying to,
With my nunchucks.
yeah, yeah. So, okay. So I mean, once again, this came out in 1990. Many things have changed, but Casey Jones, the character, easily would have been canceled in today's world.
He's great. I love Elias Koteas and I love his performance. Like I love the whole arc for Casey Jones of starting out. I mean, all of this is like Eastman and Laird were doing riffs on comics, right? So Casey Jones is just supposed to be kind of like Daredevil. I
Yeah.
think, like
Yeah. Yeah.
uh so yeah, but no, all the stuff that he says to April, that's something else. The massage he gives her is pretty erotic for a children's movie about ass kicking turtles. And I'm like, she should put a bra on, right? I mean, there's kids in the audience.
And it's just that whole like, I mean, it wasn't just this movie. It was like all movies, but it was just all like, hey, it's the macho pig, but like she's like turned off
But
by
she
him at
likes,
first.
yeah, but he doesn't really act any nicer. But she
Right.
just actually really likes it.
Yeah, just if you say, enough times, hey, what are you getting so mad about? Like it's all good. I kind of wondered, I always, for whatever reason, even though I didn't know that Casey Jones wore like the actual action figure character, like the hockey mask, kind of really like appealed to me for whatever reason. But I did kind of wonder, at least like April, her involvement in this does kind of make sense, especially being a reporter and stuff. I kind of wondered what Casey Jones just did all day. Like, just how does this man live?
Yeah. Does he go to work? Is there a job? I mean, he says he is played professional hockey, right? He says that when they're talking for a second, he played professionally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he just sits on rooftops and drinks Gatorade and tries to listen to the radio, hoping that he can spot crime happening on the roof.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess.
I don't see him like working in the subway station
Yeah,
though.
yeah. And definitely, I don't know if I was wrong to laugh at it, but it was not a joke you would find today or even like definitely in a family film. But I won't get it verbatim. But when they like, when they when they go to the sewer for the first time and he starts freaking out, and they're like,
Oh, he
what
says
are you
he's a
claustro-"
claustrophobic. Hey, I've never even looked at another guy.
Yes. And I was
That's,
like,
I mean, you can't, that's not a bad joke for 1990.
I know. I was like, that's what I was watching the movie. I was like, that one was pretty good.
Yeah.
So, oh, but and a spoiler alert if you haven't watched this movie. So they defeat Shredder at the end. He falls into the
What?
yes, he falls. Oh, so
Splinter defeats Shredder at
oh,
the
that's
end.
true. That's true. I'm sorry, but
And you can definitely tell they're like, how are we gonna do this? This rat puppet cannot move very much. So he's just like it kind of moves to the side a little. Like we
yeah.
don't have a lot of dexterity with this. This isn't a guy in a costume. This is like a little puppet they have standing up.
But he falls into the trash compactor. So,
Yep.
hey, Shredder, bad guy. I totally agree. But Casey Jones is just,
Casey Jones, murderer.
yeah, no problem lifting, like getting that lever and smushing a human being.
I know. And more troubling is my daughter cheered. Like, well, I mean, I don't know if he had to murder him.
And make some kind of quip about it, but
Yeah. Oops.
yeah, I do. Just, I mean, I know this is a comic book movie and stuff, but everyone's acceptance of the big talking rat is, I mean, pretty surprising how well they take
I
it.
think everybody, yeah, everybody really with the turtles, the rat, everything, a little soon. A little soon with their, oh, okay, I got it. At least April freaks out a little bit. Everyone else is like, oh, a talking rat, like there are. Sure, that makes sense. Oh, you're Ninja Turtles? Okay, I got it. But, my kid logic, I'm like, great, they fell in the news, whatever. Next. We don't need to explain this anymore. Come on, I get it. They're talking turtles. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh man, but uh so yeah, I definitely it just brought back a lot of memories, but like you had mentioned, just it was such a quick watch. And I remember I definitely the second one, I mean, the Vanilla Ice song. I mean, that's probably the standout, I guess, but
Yeah, yeah.
there is something about
The
this
ninja rap.
yeah, this movie that's like, I mean, obviously it was, I mean, all movies are there to sell. I mean, it had the product placement and all that kind of stuff. But there's something about this first movie that didn't seem so much as a cash cow as maybe the other installments that came later.
Yeah, I mean, well, it definitely was meant to be, but I don't think they could have anticipated that it was going to blow up like it did. I mean, over the credits, they did have an NC Hammer song, which is pretty awesome. The
That's
turtle
true.
rap.
Yes,
Um,
that's true. And I'm not a scholar on the box office in 1990, but this movie came out in March, which still even now March time is like usually that's kind of known when studios like dump films or just kind
yeah.
of pass things off. And but there's always every year it always seems I know it's almost the thing to always say it. There's always a movie that just like comes through or whatever like that. And I can't help but think, I mean, it came out in March, was probably this like surprise hit in some ways, but like
Yeah.
the way that movies stayed in theaters those days, it's like kind of no wonder that it made so much money.
Yeah, I'm sure it stayed there for a long time. I mean, I can't believe I didn't get to see this movie in the theater. I think it knocked Pretty Woman off the top spot the week it came out. It debuted number one, the week it was out. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But every kid watched the Ninja Turtles. Like every little boy
Mhm.
watched the Ninja Turtles. It was going to be a massive success. And it delivered. It totally delivers.
It did. And so I know I sent you, I saw it on Instagram, but
What?
maybe you can like the 35th anniversary is coming up and it's going out in theaters. So you
Oh
could
yeah.
like, yeah, you could finally like,
It
uh,
was it was recently the theater here in Austin, the Paramount does a summer movie series, and it was one of the movies that was playing this summer. But they just play like once, and they do a bunch. I mean, they do a ton of movies. And I was gonna take the girls, but we had a swim meet that day, and it was like we finally just never mind because
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like I want to see it in the theater.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you are you ready for the rewind pop quiz?
Oh
Just
my
have
gosh,
yeah.
there's a quiz.
Yes, there is. This isn't
Well, I'm not
about
one for trivia.
this isn't about the movie, just about things happening in the year
Oh,
1990.
oh,
No,
good.
no, you'll
I wasn't watching a lot of news back then.
yeah, well, I have no doubt that you'll definitely get some of these, but
Okay.
I wasn't trying to stump you, but this one is shoe in, I'm
I was
sure.
trying to flat out embarrass you.
So, what sketch comedy show starring Jim Carrey and the Wayans siblings premiered in 1990?
In Living Color.
Yes.
What
So,
what is In Living Color?
if you weren't allowed to watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, were you allowed to watch that show?
I was 100%. Like I think there was an alarm that would have come off the TV, like would have risen up from the top of the TV if I ever turned it to that. I can remember like sneaking little bits of it when my parents were in the room, just knowing In Living Color was on.
Oh man, Fire Marshal
Fire Marshal Bill.
Bill. Yeah, yeah, same. I mean, oh, Homie the Clown.
Who's the Jamie Foxx one? Homie
Oh,
the Clown. Yeah,
yeah, but
like
yeah,
DeWander.
oh yeah, but yeah, it just being on Fox in general. That was kind of a station I was told to stay away
Yeah, my
from.
parents were like, just don't ever put it on Fox. Don't ever go to that station. It's got The Simpsons. It's got Married with Children. Just everything evil is on that. It's got cops.
Oh yeah, cops. That was a big no-no. So, okay, all right. I'm gonna tap into your history database here. So, in March of 1990, what Eastern European country held its first democratic elections in over 40 years, signaling the collapse of communist rule?
Uh, well, the USSR, but Russia.
Well, I have East Germany, like the
Oh, East
Berlin Wall.
Germany. Oh, because
Yeah,
the wall fell down.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Do you remember that as a kid at all? Like that moment?
No, I honestly don't. I know it happened. I think I remember reading one of those things at school, those little
Uh-huh.
newsprint magazines
Yeah.
about it. But you know what I don't think I realized? I think that when they were telling us about it, I thought they were teaching us something that had happened, not
Yeah.
something that was like going on right
Mm.
then.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I have a faint memory of like my parents at that time weren't really big news people, and I remember like it was on, like a
Yeah.
live news shot, and I remember the visual of the wall, and that I didn't understand like what was happening at all. But yeah, I have faint memories of that and like what a big deal it was.
See, I don't know anything about it. So like they didn't tear the wall down and they were just combined. Like they still had elections on the other side. I know nothing about any of it.
Yeah. So, okay. So this one is a little tough, maybe, but which toy brand introduced a Talk Boy prototype, later made famous by Home Alone 2, at the International Toy Fair in early 1990? So the toy brand name.
Was it Tiger?
Very good. Tiger Electronics. I'm
I
impressed.
had a I had a talk boy.
I did too. I loved it. So I still
Yeah.
have it's actually sitting on my nightstand. So I do have somewhere I have a cassette player that you can convert into MP3s.
Uh-huh.
And so I have the Talk Boy tape.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah,
The
so
original tape.
the original tape, but of course it was like we used that one tape and just record it, re-recorded over it and stuff. So, but I've been
That's why all us 40-year-old men are into podcasts now, because we started with our talk boys.
It's true. Oh my gosh, but I'm both like kind of excited but a little scared to hear what's on there. It's probably not I mean, it's probably not even worth listening to. Like
Yeah.
just just randomness, I'm sure.
Oh man, I
So,
would love to hear that.
yeah, so okay, well just to kind of wrap up on this movie, but a question I've asked from everybody about this, but like, what do you think is the most 1990s thing about this movie about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So it could be like the grungy New York setting, the arcade hideout, maybe even like the fact that there's this puppets or Muppets in this movie.
Right. Yeah, because any other time for well, a few years later they would have tried to do CGI or something, and part of what makes this movie so wonderful are the puppets. But no, I mean the '90s, yeah, that hideout is so '90s as a
It
kid.
is.
April's hair
Yes.
is pretty darn '90s, and yeah, you got your pre-Giuliani New York, like scary New York,
Yeah.
where it's just crime ridden and there's rats everywhere and the I love the Steve Barron. This is the music video thing. Like all the streets are shiny at night. Everything's wetted down.
Uh-huh.
So it's got to be grungy New York, '90s, scary '90s New York, not not amusement park New York.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, yeah, that's a good one. You kind of mentioned it earlier, but the definitely the MC Hammer song at the
Yeah,
end of the credits. So I was
this.
like,
I mean, I had obviously I had the soundtrack on tape, and yeah, I listening to the songs in the background. I'm like, oh, I remember this. This was a banger.
yeah. So was that the Spotify thing you sent me?
No, so
No.
I sent Nate a link earlier today to after this movie came out, Pizza Hut and they had a tie-in with the Ninja Turtles actually went on a rock tour where they were in a band and they did like a 40 city arena tour. It was the coming out of their shells tour, and so I had the cassette, and I think I had the VHS that went along. I didn't get to attend, but yeah, listen on Spotify to that album because that was played a lot in Kyle's Talk Boy. The only song that's worth anything is coming out of our shells. But April gets a song.
Okay.
Splinter gets a song. It's terrible. They all have their songs. Yeah, it's so bad. But it was like the height of just everything Ninja Turtles. Let's make as much money off of this as we can.
Mhm.
Google the costumes like that they wore during the arena tour. It's like glam rock that they're all done up in. It's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the most '90s thing.
Yes.
That album.
Very true. I it seems like everything comes out of such big studios these days, whether it's Disney or whatever. Like, I mean, I know those type of things still kind of exist, but they don't have to rely on those like I feel like they don't have to rely on the mall appearances
Yeah.
like they used to. But
They were on Oprah, I think I watched.
yeah. This is super random, but so there's America's Funniest Home Videos, which still,
Right.
AFV now, that you could still find on, but there was a spin-off of it.
America's Funniest People with Dave
Yes.
Coulier.
Yeah, and they would go to malls.
Yeah,
And
it'd be
that
like,
was
hey, can anybody do anything? Like, I can kind of do a Humphrey Bogart impression. They're like, great, we'll put it on TV.
that was the show.
That was the show.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So crazy. So, Ray, this has nothing to do with the movie, but for whatever reason, well, one, both of our girls just binge the original Full House. Like,
Mine are watching it now. There's in season one.
oh, okay, nice, yeah.
Yeah.
So they loved Fuller House on Netflix. So anyway, they watched all this. So, like I said, this has nothing to do with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but do you remember the episode? This is later episodes. Clearly, like it's funny. I started to remember these certain episodes, but also it's funny as Full House got into the later seasons. I was like, oh wow, they are really grasping for some plot lines here. But do you remember when Michelle got amnesia? When
Yes.
she fell off the horse.
Yeah. I mean, vaguely. I remember that it happened.
Yeah, yeah,
But they were struggling at the end there
yeah.
to figure out things to do.
Yeah, so that one was definitely a two-part episode. You had to wait until next Friday to see what happened to Michelle. And so anyway, so Michelle like walks into her house and doesn't recognize anybody. And actually, I listened to like a full conversation with Hayden, my youngest, who's like the sweetest, just like about amnesia and like how. So you didn't want to be like it can't happen because concussions can happen, but
Yeah.
it was also hard to frame like this was not what it would look like necessarily. But
It,
yeah,
it does not happen with the regularity that it did in 90s sitcoms.
yeah, yeah. So.
Like,
So all this to say, which led to the other night I started with Hayden. We started Step by Step, which was in that TGIF universe. You remember that one with Suzanne
oh
Summers
no.
and Patrick Duffy?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Oh yeah, and Patrick Duffy, not as fondly remembered.
what did he do? I forget. Or you mean just like not that show's not as fondly remembered?
Patrick Duffy. No, no, he didn't, but the guy that played Cody on there like
Yeah,
beat his wife or something. Yeah,
yeah.
he's a bad guy.
Yeah. So I went down a kind of a rabbit hole today about him about that. But anyway, I was shocked that so we watched the pilot happens. And it's just funny to see like them working out TV shows like in the early stages. And it ended up being a hit. It lasted several seasons. But how much they wanted
Yeah, I watched it.
Al to be the star in the pilot episode. But by the second episode, the number two episode, they bring in Steve Urkel. Like he's in the second episode of Step by Step,
They got to get you to watch it.
and the whole end, like he takes Al to the prom after she get like a boy like dumped her or whatever. But they do the Urkel dance. I would have never thought the Urkel dance was actually in Step by Step and not Family Matters. Maybe it was in Family Matters and they just decided to do it in Step by Step too. But I was like, oh wow, they were working hard for this like show to take off if that was the case.
Yeah, they
So
were. I guess they really needed another Full House type show.
yeah,
To me, Full House and Ninja Turtles are just entwined with each other because it's
yeah,
that time in my life, like
yeah.
7 years old to 10 years old. Those, other than maybe my parents, were the two most important things in my life: Full House and the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, yeah, and then by the third episode, I had always thought Cody came in later in Step by
Uh-huh.
Step. Cody comes in episode three, so I was like, oh, they must have. So this cast was huge as is, and so by the third episode, they felt like they had to bring in yet
We
another character.
we got to get somebody else in here. I
So
remember Al. I remember I had the girl that was on My Two Dads. She's one of the.
yes,
She's the
yeah.
blonde. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, but well, thank you so much for coming in to talk about this movie. I'm glad you picked it. It was fun to go down this just trail of nostalgic memories. But was there anything that we missed that you wanted to hit on?
I don't think so. I mean, it's just it's super. There's I think does Netflix have movies that made us on this? I feel like they do, and I
Oh,
think
they
it's
probably do.
I think I think if they do, it's worth if it's the one I'm thinking of, it's worth a watch. It's really interesting getting into the puppetry of it is really cool how they did everything, how they actually brought the turtles to life.
It looks
Is
like
there's definitely a documentary about it. It might just be on YouTube.
yeah. Oh well, it looks like there was they did the toys that made us, and they have an
Yeah.
episode about it. So maybe that's it.
No, I think there's a YouTube. There must be a YouTube
Oh,
documentary
okay.
about it. It's just a really fun movie. It's fun to watch it again with my kids and see how generational. Like it's pretty timeless. The appeal of the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Did you have you watched I just haven't been up it maybe mainly I don't want to say this series doesn't appeal to girls, but like my girls would never be like, oh, we want to see that new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. So
Oh yeah.
I know there's been kind of some franchises that have come out, like I mean other spin-offs or whatever like that. Have you seen any of those? Like I know
No, so I saw the movie that came out, I don't know, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, the TMNT,
yes.
um, which was good. I liked it. And then Seth Rogen did the Mutant Mayhem that came out last year that's supposed
Yeah.
to be good, but I never watched it. I tried to It was on Amazon, I think. I tried to get my kids to watch it and they weren't interested in it, so
Yeah,
I never checked it out.
yeah, I was kind of interested in that one as well, but that was another one where it's like it almost seemed, even though Seth Rogen was behind it, it still seemed a little like, I don't know, I feel like I need to be watching this with my family instead of just like carving out time. Does that make sense at
Yeah, I
all?
wasn't gonna watch that. It looked like a kids movie, and
Right, yeah.
yeah, I didn't have any interest. Well, how disappointed were you when you were little that Bebop and Rocksteady weren't in this? And
Oh yeah.
then in the sequel, we got Toka and Razar that also aren't Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yeah, I wonder why they went that route. I don't
I don't
understand.
know. I don't know if it was just the costumes they thought they couldn't pull off, that it'd be too expensive, or I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I
Yes.
always assume it comes down to money.
Always. So yeah, and they weren't even going to touch Kang, in
No,
these
no.
movies. Like, how are they going to pull that off? So
Dimension X or whatever he's from. Yeah, no.
yeah. Well, thanks for just reliving this sewer side of nostalgia here. So, make sure to follow us on all the platforms. Movies Are Like Pod on Instagram. We're also Facebook, all the different things. Please leave a review if you're enjoying the series, and I'm sure people out there have some TMNT stories as well. So whether you wore the mask, mastered the nunchucks like Kyle, or I mean, just to tell, I would love to hear who your favorite Ninja Turtle was. I'm sure everybody would say Michelangelo, but I would be interested to hear why it would be somebody else. So
Yeah, and if it's Raphael, just keep it to yourself. We get it. You're cool.
yeah, and if it's Casey Jones, you are canceled. Well, thanks again, Kyle, and thanks for pressing play on the past.